Hi friends, David here from Above AVL and Learn Stage Lighting. And in this video, we want to talk all about front lighting, programming front lighting for a stage, what you need to know, how to make some sense out of it, and ultimately how to make it look good from a programming perspective to make it the best thing possible. So let's talk about some of the prerequisites here. Okay, so front lighting, we want to always be out in front of the people on stage. Ideally, we're going to be up about 45 degrees and out about 45 degrees to the left and to the right with 2 points of lighting. Now, here today, I'm in the studio and we're playing around with this rig here, which is just like a little band lighting rig with mostly color key fixtures, a few others. Really nice stuff, not sponsored in any way other than, hey, we're Above AVL. We make this awesome video for you. If you've learned from these videos and you need lights, we'd ask you to come buy them from us. We're going to give you a personalized price if you reach out for a quote. We'd love to help find you the right thing, all that jazz. But we're playing around with this rig. And of course, that looked great right now because I've got this video light on. But, when you've got your front lighting in place, no matter what it looks like, which in this case, is front corners of stage, and we've just got one side due to the fact that I sold one of the other fixtures accidentally. We've got that coming. But when it comes into sitting down and programming, when we're thinking about position, if it's a moving light, maybe zoom, if we've got that ability, and color, what do we do from that programming perspective? Well, let's take a look. So I'm here and I've got the WMX1. Yeah, we're zoomed in on it, so we can use that, which is awesome, from ADJ. We're kind of using that for programming. And so when it comes to pointing front lights and programming them, there's a few things you'll want to know. So we're going to turn off the video light. And so now we're looking at just the front lighting in our rig. This camera's set to auto, but our front camera, as always, is set to manual. So position is going to be the first thing. If you have moving lights and you have the capability to position them, then where do you put them, right? So right now I've got this one, and it is literally shooting across our stage here, and it's a little bit lower than I'd like, but it's essentially, shooting for someone right here. Yes, highlighting my dad bod. But we can move that, and if we move it, there's a couple things we're gonna see as we move it, all about positioning. The first is, okay, where we've got it right now is a really good position, just in the sense of overall lighting, because just to get my Dominar par out of the way, because it basically comes off the stand, it hits the person on stage. I would love for it to be a little higher. And now it is. And we'll just adjust the tilt a little. But what this angle does for us that works really well for a band type front light is that, and whether it's out there, out here, whether it's 245s out, is adjusting the height that it hits the person on stage at, adjusts where your shadow is gonna fall. Okay. And we want that shadow to fall somewhere where it's not going to be obnoxious. It's not going to be, weird, right? Because if we move this, say, and see the light. So say we move it over here, right? Now, as you can see, if I'm not in front of it, I'm washing this piece that I'm lighting separately with all sorts of light, and it makes it look not all that great. Okay. Not only that, but when I get in front of it, I get a lot of shadows. That, as opposed to this, where we were, when we were over here off into the wings, we're still lighting the person on stage. We're doing a pretty good job. We can still see them, but we're not, blowing them out. Now, what about color? We'll get to color last. What about zoom? How about that? What about zoom? This fixture doesn't zoom, but zooming is going to influence how much of the stage is lit versus how much is not. So when it comes to programming front lighting, especially if you're working with a band or any type of music, there may be areas of your stage where you want a smooth, nice wash. If you have multiple vocalists that move around, etc., that's always a great thing. But if you're in a band situation where they don't move around a lot, or you have follow spots or something like that, then you may want to use zoom or use tighter lenses to bring those in a little bit closer on people, because then you're getting less splash on the other parts of the stage. So kind of, if you're guessing here, kind of my big key here is, you want to get the front light focused and shining on the areas, on the people you need to light. If you can, do that while avoiding getting it on backdrops, curtains behind you, walls behind you, and have it spill off in areas that don't hit that backdrop, then that's going to be really good. It's going to help you look. Now let's talk about color when it comes to front light. So I'll go ahead and just turn this around real quick. And so when it comes to color for a front light, you see here, I'm in this amber color. Front light doesn't always have to be white. Now, in a lot of situations, you want your front light to be a good white, right? Here, I'm kind of in more of a band rig that doesn't always make sense. Okay, so let's go ahead over here to color, and I'm just gonna go to white itself and edit it. So when it comes to making a nice white, we can all probably agree, even with this camera being white balanced for daylight, this is not a nice white, right? All LEDs at full is not a good white for front light. You want to tweak it, you want to make it look a little better. So in this case, what I often do is start to minus blue, okay? And in this case, on this particular fixture, honestly, blue's at 0 now, white's at full, red and green are at full. And I would say at this point, I want to minus green, just a little. And now I've landed at what is a really good white. And I think it shows on camera. There's a little bit, of a hot spot. It's blown out a little. But overall, you can see it's a nice, warm, not too warm, but nice, warm white. We can make it warmer just by minusing green and the white itself. Oops, not that much. And, make it whatever color temperature we need to, a warmer white or cooler white. But overall, that's a great tip for that. What about colors? In a lot of different types of lighting, colored front light works great. A lot of times I like to keep my lead vocalist in white most of the time. Now, that depends on the style of the program. Like, anything traditional, anything that's somebody speaking to the audience, etc., you generally want to have them in white, right? If somebody's just a background singer, or if it's, harder music or rap or something that's a little more, less, the further you get away from pop, basically, the more you can get away with deeper saturated colors as front light. Okay. And pretty much anything goes. Like green doesn't look great on most people, but pretty much anything goes there. But my biggest tip for front light is to go ahead and just add some white to any color that you're mixing, kind of turn it into a pastel so that the connection with the audience from the performer is still there. So, for example, if I just go to this blue here, right? Now I'm in a pretty deep blue, and if I'm connecting with an audience member, if I'm making eye contact with the audience, gesturing to the audience from stage, sure, this blue fits the theme of the song. It looks cool, but just take it and add some white to it, pastel it out, either by adding, if it's just a red, green, blue fixture, you can, have blue at full, red and green at some percentage. In this case, it's a red, green, blue, white fixture. So you just, take some white and mellow it out. It still gives the vibe you're going for, but it allows the people being front lit on stage to kind of pop out a little bit. Okay. And this will work in any color and to be seen and understood more clearly. So their mannerisms, their emotions, all of that gets wrapped up and gets understood by the audience. And there's not a barrier there like, a really deep color gives you, like this red. It's like that works. And, if it's particularly hard music or that's exactly what the artists want, that could be what you do. But again, if you just soften it out a little with not a lot of white, but some percentage of white, turn it into a little more of a pastel, you're going to find, I think, that it looks a lot better, that the artist's engagement with the audience, whatever that may be, whether it be a band or a church or a DJ, any sort of live music performance, this is going to work great. Of course, as mentioned, if you're just lighting a stage where people are standing on it, right, where they're giving presentations or something like that, sticking with a good old standard white, I'm just going to minus green a little and then minus red. Then why is it so funky? Shouldn't have done that. There we go, minus blue, minus green. Make a nice warm white. Dial it in. And now we've got something that looks a little too warm on camera because this camera, again, is color balanced for daylight, but can really give you that look you're going for, give you good front light, make it so that the people are understood and can see well. And then probably my last tip when it comes to color and front light is generally light either everything on stage in the same front light color that usually looks really good, or do the lead singer in one color and everybody else in a different color, whether that be white and a color or two different colors, etc. If you get more complex than that, it doesn't tend to read well and it just kind of looks messy. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this look at Frontlight for bands, for church, for DJ, for any sort of live performance, especially music. These tips are really going to help you. And if you enjoyed them, then head over to learnstagelighting.com. We actually have a free guide that's all about getting started. So if you're just getting started, grab our free guide, the 3 things you really need to know about lighting. And then when you need to buy lights, or maybe you're not starting, but you're a little further on, you're looking to purchase some lights either for yourself or an organization, head over to aboveavl.com. We'd love to help you. We'd love to answer your questions, help you find the right thing, and get it in your hands. We promise you'll love it. Tons of people have tried it and love it, and we would love to help you too. If that sounds good, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.